Hi, I am Bob Trask. Welcome, 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 and thank you for being here. Have you ever wondered, those great masters, Buddha and all those guys were always talking about becoming one with the universe, being one with the universe. What's the deal on that? Being one with the universe. What's the deal, and why is it important? Why would it be important? Why would you care? Why would I care? So I'm going to start today by quoting famous author and filmmaker David Lynch. David Lynch said something really important, I think. He said, every person has an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness. Every person has an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness. Every single human can experience that infinite intelligence, infinite creativity, infinite happiness, infinite energy, infinite dynamic peace. Isn't that cool? David Lynch, famous filmmaker, famous author, just an incredibly talented guy, actor, all those things he did. Says every single person has within an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness. Every single human being can experience that. Infinite intelligence, infinite creativity, infinite happiness, infinite energy, infinite dynamic peace. Oh, that is so cool. And you know what? When I was a boy growing up in a housing project with one pair of pants and tennis shoes with holes in the soles and newspapers inside to keep the pavement off of my socks. When I was a boy, if somebody had said to me, "My son, you have uh, uh, infinite intelligence, infinite creativity, infinite happiness, infinite energy," I would have gone, "Get rid of you. Get out of here." How could I possibly have believed that? In fact, we have around the world right now 8 billion people, and a whole lot of them are in poverty, suffering from oppression or bombs or bullets or war or hunger or starvation or disease. A whole lot of them. There's a lot of them in England and Australia and New Zealand and Canada and America and the Nordic states. A lot of them are sick. I have got cancer or some terrible thing going on with them. Or they're taking care of an elderly person who has Alzheimer's, and it's just a constant chore, and they don't know what to do with themselves. And here comes somebody saying, and you have infinite intelligence and infinite creativity and infinite happiness, and that doesn't make any sense. But I think as we move through today and through this very brief talk, you're going to see that within you, waiting to be expressed, is infinite intelligence, infinite creativity, infinite happiness, infinite energy, and infinite dynamic peace. And there's nothing standing in the way of you being that, except perhaps something within you that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to quote some other great minds, but I'm going to be careful because there are a lot of famous people out there selling themselves as saviors, spiritual channels into wealth, into wellness, and into great relationships. And most of their students continue to live lives that have been unchanged. Many of their followers want answers to the basic questions, don't they? That's what I'd want if I was a student. Who am I? Who am I really? I mean, is it possible that I have more possibilities, more probabilities, that I have more talents, that more I have more energy or abilities than I think I have? I mean, I think I know I know who I am, I know what I've got. Is there more than that? That'd be a question I'd be asking. And what happens when I die? Like, that's a big question because I'm going to die. And when I do, what happens? Do I just disappear? Am I just this body and the body just gets cremated or buried and that's it? That's it? But the one thing consistent with those believers of oneness is that they are all set free from these doubts. And one thing about those believers that are following those so-called saviors is that they're depending on someone or something outside of them to heal them or to make them wealthy or to give them a good relationship. When they realize that all the powers of the universe are already empowering them, then they won't need anything outside of themselves to become whole, to live in fullness. Those who rely on religions or gurus to fight their uncertainty are almost often not being served by those teachers or those religions. Many religions have shifted from becoming consciousness guides to becoming corporations, and everything's about money and the bottom line and, a new parking lot, a new roof, a bigger building, more TV coverage. We students want to be free. And those of us who are teachers, our students want to be free. And they want us to help set themselves free. Here, the parents of a baby bird, and my daughter Chauncey and Tyson, my son, live in a place in Los Angeles in the Hollywood area, and outside of their window, a dove came and laid some eggs. And then the mother and father Doug went back and forth, sitting on those eggs, taking care of them. And finally they hatched. And like in a couple of weeks, those little doves flew away. So the question is, what does a parent of a baby bird want? What's it looking for? It nurtures it only for one purpose, right? To get it ready to come and fly with them. Our goal then is for our students is to be free, for them to set themselves free, so that they can live in harmony with this universal choir of life. Author Wim Hof says the purpose of being is really to make the soul ascend, to expand its consciousness. That's our true purpose. And if we follow that path, then there's no tension. You just live like a kid, open. It's all simple. It's beautiful, and the energy is clean. We're children of Mother Nature. But if you grew up in a religion that taught you that suffering is somehow divine, then you might want to let go of that discipline, because suffering is never, ever, ever, ever anything divine, and it's not our purpose for being here, and it's not divine. Let me repeat that. That kind of teaching supports victimhood and helplessness. And the question we have to ask ourselves is there a universal power then? Is there a universal power? A grace that has my back? Can I relax and know that the wise consciousness of all universes that is in me is also in every planet, mountain, and tree? Can I trust? Can I trust in love as a universal power? Love as a universal power that never abandons me? Can I trust that? Am I created to solve challenges and to continually expand in self-confidence and wisdom? Am I created for that? To solve challenges and to expand in self-confidence and wisdom constantly? Can I be expanding in that? What if when you were a small child, you learned from the very first that life's going to be filled with challenges, but that you will always win, and that the contest will be fun and exciting? What if you've been taught to meditate so that you could live without self-doubt? How would your life today be different? Well, dear friend, it's not too late to realize those self-truths right now, today. And what if you were always taught to be the seeker so that you'd always be discovering and growing and doing it joyfully? It's not too late. It's not too late. Not too late for your mind to become young and flexible and powerful. Can we see now that life, starting today, can be filled with the delight and surprises we dream of? And will you recognize that those delights and surprises won't come from the world around you, but from you? Those delights and surprises won't be from the world around you, not from a better car, not from a better house, not from a better relationship, not from better health. They won't come from any, they'll come from you, revealing again and again and again how precious and how amazing you are. My friend, we are the most play acting people you could imagine. That's what we're doing here. We're play acting. We're pretending to be who we think we are supposed to be. And so much more than that. We're so much more than that. We're reincarnations of divine light. We're nature itself. And when we stop letting our beliefs define us, that's when true life begins. Author and poet Michael Bassi Johnson says, when you are in tune with nature, you stop seeing birds as birds, trees as trees, humans as humans. They all become a vast extension of yourself. The great masters, Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Krishna, and others, all seem to be in a spiritual realm. They all seem to be like in this sort of meditative, extremely high, weird place that you and I can't reach. But that realm is every bit as available to us as it was to them. We have only to decide who we are and what we want. Can we do that today? Can we do that now? Just decide who we are and forget. And don't, oh my goodness, don't go back to that old definition. I know who I am. If you could have written it down last week and you write it down today, if it's the same thing, that's not who you are. If you could write it down last week and it was really what you felt like last week, this is who I am, and you can write the same thing today, then it's not right today because you're becoming. You're not who you were last week or yesterday or an hour ago. You're becoming. You are a river. You are process. You are changing. You are growing. You are the divine light. But we have to decide who we are and what we want in order to get beyond here. And isn't it that we want joy, whether it's a better relationship or a new home or being wealthy or being super healthy? If we had our dreams right now, isn't joy the result we'd be looking for? Isn't that what we want? We want to get in that brand new car, candy apple red convertible, and sit down in that deep leather seat and look around and feel what? Joy. But our dreams can only come true when we first feel the presence of the dreams. In other words, if I'm dreaming of having that car, then I have to feel myself in that car, and I have to feel the joy of knowing that I own it now. Because that's how I create it. That's how the universe responds to me. That's subatomic reality. That's quantum physics. When I observe, then that observation comes into being. You must observe that which you want and be it. That's a spiritual truth that the masters were teaching us. First, feel the joy, and then the reality will appear. You can't simply get the item unless you're already in the joy of having the item. That very act of becoming one with the universe is becoming one with all. Anita Sulzer, who wrote the fine book, We Are One, says, all religions and spiritual practices lead to one deep realization. We are all one. All is one. So if you meditate long enough and deep enough, and you're able to go into that beautiful altered space where you're not your body and you're outside of your body and you're just hanging out in space, when you're able to do that and do it on a regular basis, when you're able to see a tree and not see a tree, but to see the energy and the beauty and the joy in that tree, and when you're able to see the spaces around and see not space, but the presence of God, the presence of consciousness, when you're able to do that, then you know that you're one, and you know that you're one with all. So how do we do that? The first step is to stop believing that you're not one with the universe. The first step is to stop believing that, because you're anchored in that belief that you're not, and that's your ego talking. Keeps you safe, keeps you grounded, keeps you isolated. Let go of that. Take a risk. You are the universe. That's not some kind of an idea or a thought or a nice metaphor. You are the universe. There is no other universe than you. If you were to disappear, and what I mean by disappear, I won't mean die or go away or get burned up in a fire. I mean, if you ceased to exist right now, ceased to exist, this entire universe and all universes would instantly blink off. They would be gone. Because you are the universe. Every top spiritual leader from Jesus to Buddha asked us to wake up and become as they were, spiritually clear, awake beings who felt themselves knowing the pure consciousness and knowing that the universe is the same consciousness. And Jesus didn't come here to teach people to be Christians. He didn't start a church. He wasn't a Christian. He was a Jew. I know the Christians don't like to hear that, but it's true. And he didn't come here to teach people to be Christians. He came here to teach people to be Christs. And Buddha didn't come here to teach people to be Buddhists. He came here to teach people to be Buddhas. They would say to you and to me, surrender to the you who is hiding deep inside. Surrender to the you who is already a spiritual master, because truly you are. You're because you are eternal consciousness. Your flesh and blood is an expression of you as consciousness. This flesh and blood body, it's just made of waves and particles that are all invisible. There's nothing here except an idea of consciousness, an expression of consciousness. Then one asks, why is it so hard to know that? Why is it so hard to feel like I'm one with the universe? The answer is that it's a low priority in my life and in your life. It's a low priority in our lives. Instead, we're seeking stuff. We want more intimacy in relationships. We want a better car. We want a better house. We want better sleep, and so on and so on. We want stuff. We want to experience stuff and places and adventures. Author Carolyn Mace tells us, just let go. Let go of how you thought your life should be. Let go of how you thought your life should be. Embrace the life that's trying to work its way into your consciousness. That's the one I'm talking about here today. And letting go is the only way to achieve what we're here for. It's the only way. You're going to go all the way through your life and come right up to the final 5 seconds before you step off the planet. And in those final 5 seconds, you're going to say, I wish I'd let go. I wish I'd let go and moved into this higher realm earlier so that I didn't have to die by leaving my body, that I could have lived in that great realm of one majestic universe all the time. Today's the day. Letting go is the only way to achieve what we're here for, which is to experience life in all its forms, and then to express those experiences, both negative and positive. And then we finally get that those experiences and expressions bring us joy, not stuff. Because you see, the only way that I can get the stuff that I want is to experience the joy of it. And sometimes I don't even need it after I experience the joy of it. And then if I get it, it's just really fun. I just have fun. It's only when I'm experiencing the love that I want that the love appears. There was a young lady in San Diego I met 60 years ago, and she was a school teacher, and she came to me and said, I just feel like I don't have any love in my life. And she was a good person, and a good teacher, third grade teacher. I feel lonely. I just don't have any love in my life. And I said to her, I want you this week to go out and give away your love with both hands in every way that you can, with every person that you can. Take a risk. Just go give your love away. Here's what happened. That week she did exactly that. Here's what happened. In a little bit of time, she began to realize that there were people down across the border in Mexico who were deaf mutes. And their families were ashamed of them because that was not thought of as a normal affliction that people can get through. And so they were sort of locked in closets or locked at home. And she went and started gathering those kids up, and she started a school. She learned to speak Spanish. She learned sign language. She taught sign language. She expanded that. Pretty soon she was running these programs across this part of Mexico, and last I heard of her, oh my God, she changed so many thousands and thousands of lives, and she was filled with joy all the time she was doing it. And the last time I heard anything of her was she was married, she had kids. God, Janet Thompson, wherever you are, God bless you. Thank you for blessing my life. It's only when I'm experiencing the love I want that the love appears. The same as well with health, and the same as with health. I have to feel it before I can have it. When I'm living in harmony, reality in all of its forms, ideas, songs, mountains, and oceans, when I'm living in those forms, I'm living in pure consciousness. And the ideas, songs, mountains, and oceans are not different consciousnesses. They are the one consciousness that I am. I feel like I'm one with the sea. I'm one with that mountain. I'm one with the trees. All is one, and I'm one with it. And so are you. And the way we get to live there is by changing our minds, changing our stubborn minds, changing our stubborn self-identities, and accepting the truth, where each a precious and eternal ray of the greatest wisdom and the deepest love imaginable. We are consciousness. Now, I'm going to end the session today with a question. Who said the following? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Think about that. Who said that? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Did you say Jesus? No. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. John Lennon said the kingdom of heaven is within you. And German philosopher Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche said, you're going to love this. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. And finally, some news from Buddhist Chongyam Trungpa, who says, the bad news is you're falling through the air. See, this enlightenment thing, this going into the light, the bad news is you're falling through the air. Nothing to hang on to. No parachute. The good news is there is no ground. So you will fall forever through love and joy and delight and ecstasy and bliss if you just dare let go. I want to just tell you, thank you for being with me today. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Bring people to this site. Bring people to come and listen to these talks. You'll be doing them a favor. I send you with my love, and I'll see you next week.